I'm Charlotte d'Amboise, and I play Cassie in a chorus line. I was born and raised, with a father and a mother that both danced, and, we were doing the Nutcracker Suite here in New York City with the New York City Ballets when I was 8 years old, I guess, 8 till 14. So, every Christmas season I was walking around with those little red cheeks on my face. I only did it because I got to perform. It wasn't so much that I loved dancing, it was just that I got to be on stage. And I realized that that was what I wanted to do. I just was lucky enough to be raised in it and have great parents that kind of gave me everything in my life, not just dance. I was a well-rounded childhood, I think, growing up in New York City. Very lucky. My father is Jacques d'Amboise, and he was a principal dancer with New York City Ballet. He joined the company when he was 15 years old. He became principal dancer when he was 17. And he was there with all of Balanchine when Balanchine was creating all the ballets, and he was his main man that he used to partner all his women. So a lot of ballets were created on him, and really at the height of Balanchine's life. So it was a really exciting time for him. And then he also did a lot of movies, like Seven Brides for Seven Brothers and Carousel, and so he's kind of known for those too. I started dancing at 8 years old with SAB, School of American Ballet, which is, and truthfully, I think I only got in because of my dad. I don't know if I had any talent, but we had connections, definitely had connections. So my sister and I got in, and we just, it was part of our life, but I remember every year my mom would say, look, do you want to continue? And every year we'd be like, ugh, no, I don't want to continue ballet. Boring, boring, boring. But then the summer would go by and we would be ready to start again. And she would just say, you have to finish the year if you start. That's it. But I don't care if you want to do it or not. So we didn't have any pressure. And I remember seeing the chorus line. I remember seeing Dancin', Bob Fosse, and just going, that's what I want to do. I remember thinking how powerful women were on stage, especially with Fosse dancing, just like, wow, they're so strong. In the ballet world, I always thought the men were strong and the women were. And so it was really empowering for me. And then eventually I went to professional children's school the last few years. It's a private school that allows people to work and also do schoolwork, so you could leave for a while or you could leave even for an audition and stuff like that. It's for professional kids, even though I would sign out and go across the street to Ford University and drink coffee and eat, and I was terrible. I was awful. I wasn't a very good student. I wasn't a bad girl, but I was pretty wild. I used to go dancing to Xenon and Studio 54. I mean, we're going back. I was 14 years old. I used to get in those clubs because we knew people. I'd be there till 6 in the morning dancing. That's where I learned to dance. Really learned to freestyle, and my passion for dance was dancing at these clubs. No alcohol, drink water all night long, didn't do drugs. No, thank God I didn't, because I would have I was really a good kid, but we would dance till 6 in the morning. I don't know how I did it without drugs. I don't know how I did it. 6 in the morning. I guess my first equity job was Cats. I got the first national tour of Cats. That was one of the happiest times of my life, was doing that show. Loved it, just loved it. But hard work, I couldn't do it now. But at the time I was 18, and it was a dream come true for me, really, and making money and getting my own apartment and falling in love with my husband. My husband is Terrence Mann, and I used to always call him the Tiger Cat. The Tiger Cat. He played the Rum-Tum Tugger. And we've been married for 17 years. Married 12 years? I'm not sure like that, but living together for 17 years, long time. We have 2 kids. I think he's thrilled that I got this part, but he's also like, oh God, my life now. I have to deal with you and your injuries and your neuroses and your, oh my God. But he's great. He's just always been just a huge supporter of mine. I was in Carrie. I was in Carrie, and I played the, I think her name's Chrissy. There's a Chris, the girl that throws the pig's blood on her. And I remember in the show it was so pathetic because it was literally like a blob that would take 10 minutes to kind of fall out. So I was trying to get, and then finally the director said, forget the blood, we're just gonna put a red light on her. And I was like, a red light? No way! People want to see the blood, for God's sake. You can't put a red light on her. one of the high points of my career was being a part of Jerome Robbins' Broadway. I got to play Anita in West Side Story, and I also got to play Peter Pan. So I got to, and all the best numbers. It wasn't even like I had to do the rest of the show. I just had to do their great numbers. We rehearsed that show for 6 months. Up on the 6th floor at 890 Broadway. We were there for 6 months. We did 6 weeks of previews, and I remember opening night, us standing there and crying because we made it, and then like 5 people gave their notice. Opening night, I remember thinking, I'd never in a show in my life, because they were just done. 6 months, they were like, I'm done. I got nominated for a Tony, and that was just a whirlwind.
The nominees for Best Performance by a Leading Actress in a Musical are...
And I also remember having to literally, I don't know, take my wig off, and because it was one of those things where you were performing and then you were like, within 2 seconds they were announcing your name, so you had to like, get the wig off and get the makeup and smile. Charlotte
D'Amboise, Jerome Robbins, Broadway.
Doing Chicago was such a great role because Roxy is a complex character, and it's so rare that you get in musical theater really complex characters. I love that role. I love being funny. I love being funny, and that role, and I love being funny in not an obvious way. When I have like lines that I have to be funny on, they freak me out. Like, give them to Bebe Neuwirth. She does them great. People that really do great line readings. I like to do something that's not normally funny and make it funny. Like that is what's interesting. Contract was great because I didn't have to sing, so I could go out and drink all night, which was fun, and then not worry about my voice, and then just do like 20 minutes, I think I did, in that show. And then the whole second act, I could write letters, make phone calls, and soak my feet. It was nice.
Little Joey woke up from his nap and came into the den and saw it, and said to me, "Mommy, what is that?" And I said, "It's something special that Daddy got us." And that's all I told him, and then I turned it on. Well, there was Milton Berle right there in our den, just like we'd invited him over for a cup of coffee.
I have to say that one of the proudest moments in my life was dancing for my dad, who got the Kennedy Honors Award. My brother and I got to dance for him at the Kennedy Center, and I remember we didn't tell him what we were going to do, and we choreographed this whole dance for him, and we surprised him that night. And it has all stuff from all his ballets that only he would get. Stuff from Apollo and things from Union Jack and certain stuff from his that was really signature Jacques stuff. I wish they were Broadway stars. I mean, I think you're a Broadway star if you do film and television. I guess people do know me. I guess they do. I just never think that they do. I always assume that they don't know me. It's like the way I assume when I meet somebody that they have no idea who I am, because so many times they don't know who I am. So I don't want to put myself in a position where I look like an idiot. So I'll just go right there. You know what I love actually about Cassie, which is so funny, I realized it not that long ago. All the shows that I'm in, I'm always trying not to look like a dancer, in the sense that standing up and standing turned out. My whole life I've tried not to look like a dancer, turning my legs in, walking turned in. And even the roles that I've played, even if you're playing Charity or you don't want to be like a ballerina up there, because they're not ballerinas. So you're trying to be a person that's normal. With this part, I can just turn my legs out and stand there, and it feels so good because I'm like, oh, finally I can just kind of stand the way I want to stand. And now I'm like walking much more turned out. Somebody was telling me, oh, you're walking like a ballet dancer again. I'm like, I know, I'm going back to my roots.
All I ever needed was the music and the mirror and the chance to dance.
Anybody who's a singer, dancer, or an actress wants to play this role. I mean, it's just the epitome of it all. You know what I mean? It's just, it incorporates it all in, I guess, 7 minutes. I don't know how long my dance is. I need to find out, actually. I want to find out. But it does it all, you know, and it's full blast. You don't get to kind of, you know, you sing full blast, you dance full blast, you act full blast. I thought it was a role I could play. I thought it was something that I was right for. They put me through it, auditioning. I mean, it wasn't like, it was part of one of the hardest auditions I've ever had to do. I marvel at, like, sometimes how I do get jobs. It's funny, you know, you go one way or the other. You know, sometimes you think, oh, I'm really confident and I'm really strong, and then the next minute you feel like, oh my God, they dance better than me, they sing better than me. How the hell am I gonna, you know, like what? It's really competitive out there. It's really competitive, and the girls I was up for, they were all of them could play it, and well. So it was, I never for a minute ever felt that I would really get it until I got it. And then I was like, okay, I got it. But, you know, it was always, I was terrified. Always. You never feel like you get it until you get that phone call. And then I always say, that phone call, once you get that phone call, it's like the happiest moment in your life. When you call and they say you have the job. Nothing is better than that. Then everything goes downhill after that. Because then you got to work at it, then you suddenly get neurotic, and then the work sets in. But that moment is the best thing in the world. Even if you don't take the job, just getting the job. Just like, I got it.